everybody in life has worries, and like I call it for some reason the worrying lesson. So like you get to express yourself. So if you have something personal which you don't, or you want to share with someone but you don't know when would be the right time, this is the right time.
I get like trust and help and sort of how to know how to bounce back from situations that I usually wouldn't know how to.
This class makes you more like stand up for yourself and communicate more to people.
Everyone starts sharing their problems, so you feel that if I can trust them, that they can trust me to share them.
My name is Roger Bryant. I'm the head teacher at Longdean School. I've been here for the last 4 years, and 3 years ago we introduced the Resilience programme. We were spoken to by the local authority who wanted us to pilot the programme. It was very much about how children might deal with what life throws at them. We're a true comprehensive, have a huge spectrum of children here who have a huge spectrum of needs. And one of the issues we felt that they needed to address and we needed to support them with was the issue around resilience. I think it's important that we all have a level of resilience. I'm developing my resilience as a 42-year-old man, and I will do, I'm sure, for the rest of my life. So this isn't a skill just for a 12-year-old child, it's a skill for life.
My name's Hilary Kidd. I'm Director of Transition at Longdean School. We introduced the Resilience programme about 3 years ago. 2 of us were trained up initially and other staff have been trained. And it's really to improve students' emotional literacy. We're mindful that when children come to school, a lot of them have baggage. And obviously if they're not happy children, they're not going to achieve their full potential. We want our children to be able to bounce back. We want to try and train them to be optimistic and try and work against their negative beliefs, but also to be realistic children. I mean, if stuff is tough, you know, they need to go for help. Nobody can walk around looking like a Cheshire cat the whole time. But really giving them some means to deal with the problems that they find difficult in life. So life's a bit up and down at times, isn't it? We have good stuff and we have bad stuff going on, but we must make sure that we try to have what sort of outlook in life? What do we want?
Well, we should have a positive side.
Right, we've got to try and be positive. Would somebody like to share something that is going really well at the moment? Go on then, Martin.
I got a new game for my Wii yesterday.
Absolutely excellent. What were you thinking to yourself when that was being bought for you?
I'm one of the luckiest people in the world.
Absolutely. And how did that make you feel?
Really happy.
Really happy. Well, we're targeting our Year 7s. And we teach it to all Year 7s. Some of them have the half year when they come into the school, and some of them have the second half of the year, and they have 18 hours of resilience. Anybody had anything recently that perhaps has made them not feel quite so good?
Yesterday I was doing the science test and I failed it.
What were you thinking when you got your test result back?
Why does it always happen to me?
What are the problems with always thoughts?
If I'm rubbish at this subject, then I might be rubbish at my other subject.
Okay, right, Tamsin.
They put a negative thought into your head.
It puts you in a really negative attitude. Well done, hands down for a moment. We put the big emphasis on trust and respect and the fact that some people do want to say what's personal to them, and you know they've got the right to know that other people aren't going to go out and blab about it. So it's almost a mantra. What we say in here stays in here, because some people share some personal stuff and it doesn't get gossiped about outside the room, because what will we lose with each other if we do?
You'll lose trust.
We'll lose trust.
And one of the beauties of the programme is that the children talk to each other. There's a sense of trust between the classes. The conversations that are held in that classroom means that children can talk about things that perhaps they might not elsewhere. You can look at things like attendance, behaviour, number of detentions, number of exclusions, those sorts of performance indicators. And whilst I can't apportion all of the improvements in those areas to Resilience programme, I know it's been one of our probably top 3 or 4 things that we've done that has supported the benefits to the children and to the school.
We know the resilience programme has worked well in schools, and we're amazed at the results. And we're convinced that it will work equally well across the workforce. Because what it does, it gives people transferable skills. For example, it helps people to think creatively about problems. It helps them keep their emotions under control. It helps them to not overreact to issues and problems. And most importantly of all, it gives them confidence to come up with considered solutions to problems rather than to overreact and let their emotions take over. And that's applicable right across our workforce. It's very important that staff working with some of our vulnerable children develop these skills. It helps them do the job because they can work with children without overreacting, without getting too emotionally involved, to make sure they're making balanced judgments and making the right decisions for children. But the other, for them personally, it's very important they don't bottle up their worries and concerns and take them home. What this programme does is allow them to talk those issues through and develop the emotional control they need to make sure that the job stays with the job and they can go home and relax. I think kids are under much more emotional pressure than they were. I think they have to grow up a lot quicker than we did. I'm very sad about that, but it's true. There are much more opportunities to be unpleasant to each other. Cyberbullying is on the up. I just think it's a much more difficult world to be a child in than it was 20 years ago.
When I was at my old school, I kept on getting bullied. Well, it started when I joined the school when it was in year 5, and this boy started bullying me for how I was. Since I've been in this school and in this lesson, I got more confidence than I did before, and I've learned how to bounce back from problems like that, and I've been helping my friends.
The Resilience programme has had an immediate and demonstrable impact on bullying. And one of the things it's done, which is quite interesting, is help children disentangle what is bullying and what isn't. Sometimes children can be horrible to each other and regret it afterwards. And if you class that as bullying, suddenly you've got a major problem. What this programme does is it helps children keep things in proportion and understand that sometimes children say things which are unkind, don't really mean it, and regret it afterwards. And that's been very, very helpful indeed. And what that does then is allow us to deal with the genuine bullying incidents, which tend to be relatively few once you take out just children being difficult with each other. So it's been very helpful in that respect.
The feedback from the children has been very positive, as has from the staff, and indeed many of the parents. So the benefits of the programme have been far-reaching and probably more than we expected. We really were looking at teaching and learning in the classroom, but the benefits have been beyond that, whether it's the behaviour system, whether it's relationships with parents, whether it's relationships with colleagues. It's been far-reaching. And for Ofsted to say that no child comes through the school unnoticed. There's no grey children. There are no children here that get through the net. Every child here is well catered for and looked after and supported, and I think the Resilience programme is definitely part of that.